If you want to live an extraordinary life, you must think and act differently than the average person. Success does not happen by accident. It is planned, written, reviewed, and lived every single day. That is the purpose of the Winner's Notebook. A place for you to write your thoughts, your goals, your plans, and to measure your progress. Most people drift through life with no clear direction, no written goals, no daily habits that lead them anywhere worthwhile. The winners, those who achieve happiness, success, and fulfillment, all have one thing in common: they know where they're going, and they keep a written record of their journey. 1. Writing as a success tool. Thoughts are fleeting. Ideas come and go. Dreams fade unless they are captured. Writing them down is the first step in turning imagination into reality. A notebook becomes your partner, your silent coach. When you write in it daily, your goals, your lessons, your commitments, you begin to see patterns. You can track what's working, what isn't, and where you must improve. This is how winners separate themselves from the crowd. 2. Defining your goals. The first assignment in the Winner's Notebook is simple: write down what you want. Not what others expect of you, not what you think you should settle for, but what you truly desire in life. Until you decide that, you cannot move forward with power. Goals are magnets. Once they are written and clear, they begin to draw you forward. 3. Turning goals into daily habits. Writing a goal is only the beginning. The next step is breaking it down into daily, repeatable actions. If your goal is health, your daily habit might be exercise and diet. If your goal is financial independence, your habit might be saving, investing, or learning a skill that increases your value. Success is not one giant leap. It is 1,000 small steps taken every day, recorded and measured. 4. Self-evaluation. Winners ask themselves difficult questions. What did I do today to move closer to my goals? Where did I waste time? What can I improve tomorrow? The notebook becomes a mirror, reflecting your discipline, or your lack of it. But unlike an ordinary mirror, it also shows you what you can become if you adjust your behavior. 5. Attitude and gratitude. Every day should begin and end with gratitude. By writing down what you are thankful for, you create a mindset that attracts more opportunities. Winners know that attitude is everything. A positive mind sees diamonds where others see only rocks. Gratitude clears the fog from your vision. 6. Persistence over time. At first, writing in the notebook may feel small, even unimportant. But remember, every great cathedral was built one stone at a time. When you review your notebook after weeks and months, you will see progress that would have been invisible otherwise. The accumulation of effort captured in writing becomes proof that you are moving toward your worthy destination. Imagine for a moment the immense power of putting pen to paper, not just for the sake of writing, but for capturing every single victory, no matter how small it may seem. You see, life is a series of moments, some grand and some seemingly insignificant, yet each holds within it the seed of greatness. The man who consistently records his achievements, the woman who refuses to let even the smallest success go unnoticed, is the person who begins to harness the incredible force of momentum. It is in this process of acknowledgement that confidence is nurtured, and the mind begins to recognize its own capacity for accomplishment. Consider for a moment the victories you may have overlooked in the past. The times you rose above fear, took a difficult step, or simply persisted when others gave up. To the casual observer, these may appear minor, trivial even, but to the one who understands the law of cause and effect, each small triumph is a brick in the foundation of lasting success. By recording them, by writing them down in a notebook dedicated to victory, you are essentially creating a personal ledger of proof that you are capable, that you are progressing, and that your efforts are yielding tangible results. It is not merely the act of writing that matters, but the conscious recognition that what you have done has meaning. Every time you jot down a victory, your mind receives a clear signal. Progress is possible, effort is rewarded, and success is not a distant dream but an achievable reality. This simple act fosters a sense of confidence that is difficult to cultivate through mere intention alone. It becomes a mirror reflecting your potential back at you, reminding you of what you are capable of achieving. When challenges arise, as they inevitably will, the notebook becomes a sanctuary of encouragement, filled with reminders that you have overcome obstacles before and can do so again. It transforms fleeting moments of triumph into lasting motivation, a tangible record that proves to your mind that you are steadily moving forward. The act of documenting also sharpens awareness. You begin to notice patterns in your own behavior, identifying what works and what does not, and in doing so, you learn to replicate success while avoiding mistakes. Your victories, once intangible, become measurable, actionable, and repeatable. Momentum, once abstract, becomes concrete, and with momentum comes a sense of inevitability, a quiet, persistent knowing that your efforts are not in vain, that each day brings you closer to the life you envision. It is remarkable how something as simple as a notebook, when used with discipline and clarity, can become a catalyst for extraordinary achievement. The winners, the people who consistently reach heights that others deem impossible, do not rely solely on talent or luck. They rely on their ability to observe, record, and internalize every success, building a reservoir of confidence and proof that fuels further action. This process turns ordinary days into extraordinary steps on the ladder of accomplishment, ensuring that no effort goes unrecognized, no triumph is forgotten, and no opportunity to reinforce belief in oneself is lost. Failure is often misunderstood, feared, and avoided, yet it is one of the most powerful teachers available to anyone willing to learn. The person who achieves lasting success is not the one who has never failed, but the one who has learned to embrace defeat as a necessary part of the journey. A winner's notebook is not merely a record of accomplishments, it is a sanctuary where every mistake, every misstep, and every setback is examined, understood, and transformed into wisdom. By taking the time to write down your defeats, to analyze them without judgment or self-reproach, you are engaging in a process that cultivates clarity, insight, and resilience. When you encounter a setback, the natural inclination is to feel disappointment, perhaps even frustration. Yet within that feeling lies the raw material for growth. By recording the event in your notebook, detailing what happened, why it happened, and how you responded, you begin to see patterns, tendencies, and blind spots that may have previously eluded your awareness. Each defeat becomes a case study, a miniature lesson in the art of self-improvement. The act of writing forces your mind to slow down, to dissect the experience logically, and to extract meaning from it. In doing so, failure loses its sting and becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Consider for a moment the most successful individuals in any field. They are not people who have been untouched by failure. They are people who have meticulously learned from it. They keep detailed records, consciously noting what works and what does not, and they use these lessons to refine their methods, strategies, and thinking. A winner's notebook, therefore, becomes a personal laboratory for experimentation, a place where you test ideas, confront reality, and learn to adapt. Each mistake is a clue, each setback an invitation to improve. The key is to approach defeat not as a final judgment, but as a temporary condition, a signal that adjustment and persistence are required. Writing about failure also strengthens mental resilience. When you repeatedly engage with your setbacks in a thoughtful and constructive manner, you begin to see challenges as opportunities. You develop the ability to detach from the emotional turbulence that failure often brings and focus instead on the lessons it offers. The notebook becomes a mirror reflecting not your inadequacies, but your capacity to analyze, learn, and grow. Over time, you accumulate a body of knowledge that no success alone could provide, a roadmap forged from real-world experience and the courage to face your own limitations. Moreover, reflecting on defeats teaches patience and perseverance. It reminds you that the path to achievement is rarely smooth, that obstacles are inevitable, and that each challenge contains a lesson that, when applied, brings you closer to your goals. The winners, those who eventually rise to the top, are not those who avoided failure, but those who documented it, studied it, and allowed it to guide them toward better choices. The notebook transforms moments of discouragement into sources of insight, ensuring that every misstep becomes a strategic advantage, every error a blueprint for improvement, and every setback a prelude to future success. Goals are the compass that guides human effort, the invisible lines that direct energy toward meaningful achievement. Yet simply having a goal in your mind is not enough. Thoughts are fleeting, intentions are fragile, and without a system to capture and monitor them, they often dissolve into the background noise of daily life. Winners understand this, and they take the deliberate step of writing down their goals, committing them to paper in a way that transforms abstract ideas into concrete targets. The act of writing clarifies intention, solidifies commitment, and gives life to ambition. A winner's notebook becomes the sacred space where vision meets action, where dreams are no longer ethereal but tangible, measurable, and within reach. But writing a goal is only the beginning. The true power comes from revisiting it regularly. Daily or weekly reflections create a rhythm of accountability, a constant reminder that progress is not automatic but earned. When you examine your actions in light of your goals, you gain insight into where you are succeeding and where adjustments are needed. This process of tracking transforms hope into certainty, intention into results. By recording what you have done each day to move closer to your objective, you reinforce focus and discipline, and you ensure that your energy is aligned with your vision. Momentum is born from this consistent engagement, and the mind begins to recognize that every step, however small, contributes to meaningful progress. The clarity achieved through goal setting and progress tracking is profound. Life is full of distractions, detours, and competing priorities, and without a clear point of reference, it is easy to drift aimlessly. The notebook becomes your anchor, a constant reminder of where you are headed and why. It is a place where you measure your actions against your intentions, evaluate the effectiveness of your strategies, and celebrate milestones along the way. This ongoing dialogue with oneself sharpens judgment, strengthens focus, and cultivates an unshakable belief in the value of persistent effort. Winners also understand that goals must be specific, measurable, and time-bound. Vague aspirations are like stars in the night sky, beautiful, inspiring, yet impossible to reach. By articulating precise objectives in your notebook, you create a clear roadmap, one that guides daily choices, informs decisions, and prioritizes effort. Each recorded entry, each note of progress, each acknowledgement of a completed task, reinforces the connection between intention and achievement. You begin to see that success is not the product of luck or chance, but the result of disciplined, consistent action toward a clearly defined destination. The act of tracking progress has another profound effect. It strengthens motivation. When you review your entries over time, you see the accumulation of effort, the small wins that add up to substantial gains. This visual evidence of movement forward energizes the mind and inspires further action. The notebook becomes both a mirror and a map, reflecting past accomplishments and pointing the way toward future ones. It cultivates accountability, discipline, and clarity, ensuring that every day is a step in the right direction, every effort aligned with your overarching purpose, and every goal steadily transforming from a dream into reality. Inspiration is a fleeting and unpredictable force. It does not wait for convenience, it does not knock politely on your door, and it rarely arrives when conditions seem perfect. The individual who achieves extraordinary success understands this, and one of their most powerful tools is the simple act of capturing ideas the moment they arise. A winner's notebook is not merely a place for recording victories or goals, it is a sanctuary for the mind, a repository where thoughts, insights, and flashes of creativity are preserved before they vanish into the ether. By committing these ideas to paper, the winner ensures that the spark of innovation is not lost, that the potential contained in a single thought is fully realized, and that growth becomes a continuous, intentional process. The beauty of a notebook lies in its permanence. Ideas that might seem minor or incomplete at first glance often contain the seeds of remarkable breakthroughs. By recording them, by giving them form and attention, you create an opportunity to revisit, refine, and expand upon them. A fleeting inspiration once written down becomes a foundation for strategic thinking, problem-solving, and long-term development. Winners understand that the human mind is capable of generating ideas constantly, yet without a system to capture them. Even the most brilliant thoughts are easily forgotten. The notebook becomes the bridge between the ephemeral nature of thought and the tangible reality of action, ensuring that no valuable insight is lost to the passage of time. Consider for a moment the power of compiling ideas consistently. Each entry, no matter how small, adds to a growing reservoir of knowledge and potential. Over time, the notebook transforms from a simple collection of notes into a dynamic map of creativity, a reflection of your unique perspective and evolving understanding. Patterns emerge, connections become apparent, and the mind begins to see solutions to problems that once seemed insurmountable. What began as scattered, spontaneous thoughts become part of a coherent strategy for growth and achievement. The act of writing also engages the analytical mind, encouraging clarity, precision, and the ability to evaluate ideas critically, turning raw inspiration into actionable plans. Winners also recognize the value of capturing ideas before they are fully formed. Often, an initial thought may seem incomplete or uncertain, yet it contains the essence of innovation. By recording it immediately, you give yourself the opportunity to nurture it, revisit it, and develop it into a workable solution or strategy. This habit ensures that your creative potential is continually harnessed, that your mind remains actively engaged in the process of discovery, and that growth is not dependent solely on chance or circumstance, but is the result of deliberate, disciplined effort. In addition, the notebook fosters a mindset of attentiveness. By keeping it close at hand and using it regularly, you train yourself to notice opportunities, insights, and ideas in everyday experiences. The ordinary becomes extraordinary. Small observations spark significant innovations, and the process of growth becomes fluid and ongoing. Winners do not wait for inspiration to arrive, they cultivate it, capture it, and transform it into a continuous engine of improvement and achievement. The notebook becomes both a tool and a habit, ensuring that each idea has the potential to contribute meaningfully to the unfolding story of success. The mind, like fertile soil, grows whatever seeds are planted within it. If one constantly dwells on worry, fear, or doubt, those seeds take root and flourish, producing a life of limitation and struggle. Conversely, when a person intentionally nurtures thoughts of gratitude, positivity, and possibility, the mind becomes a fertile ground for success, confidence, and resilience. A winner's notebook serves as a powerful instrument in this process, a place where positive habits and empowering mindsets are recorded, reinforced, and cultivated day by day. By consciously writing down gratitudes, affirmations, and lessons learned, the winner directs attention toward what is constructive, building a mental framework that supports achievement rather than undermines it. Gratitude is one of the most potent tools available to the individual seeking growth and fulfillment. By recording what one is thankful for each day, the notebook becomes a mirror reflecting abundance, reminding the mind of all that is working well in life. Gratitude shifts focus from scarcity to possibility, from what is lacking to what is present and available. This simple yet profound practice rewires perception, creating an inner environment where optimism and confidence thrive. The act of writing it down engages the conscious mind, embedding these positive reflections more deeply than mere thought alone. Over time, this consistent acknowledgement of blessings, small or large, strengthens mental resilience and fortifies the spirit against challenges and adversity. Affirmations, similarly, are tools for shaping belief. The words we repeat to ourselves form the architecture of thought and, eventually, behavior. By committing daily affirmations to the notebook, the winner consciously programs the mind to focus on strengths, possibilities, and personal potential. These affirmations are not empty phrases, they are deliberate, purposeful statements designed to influence the subconscious, replacing doubt with certainty, fear with courage, and indecision with action. With consistent practice, the notebook becomes a dialogue with the self, a space where confidence is cultivated and reinforced, and where mental habits conducive to success are made habitual and automatic. Recording lessons learned further amplifies the power of the notebook. Every experience, whether triumphant or challenging, carries within it an opportunity for insight. By reflecting on these experiences and noting the wisdom gained, the individual transforms events into education, setbacks into strategy, and routine actions into deliberate practice. Each entry becomes a reinforcement of constructive thinking, a testament to the ability to learn, adapt, and grow. The mind, continually exposed to these positive patterns, gradually internalizes them, creating a resilient mental framework capable of navigating uncertainty and seizing opportunity. Moreover, the daily practice of writing in the notebook fosters discipline, focus, and mindfulness. It is a ritual of intentionality, a conscious decision to engage with the mind in a constructive, purposeful way. Winners understand that success is not the product of chance but of cultivated thought, deliberate habit, and persistent reinforcement. By documenting gratitudes, affirmations, and lessons, the notebook becomes a tool of transformation, shaping mental habits, strengthening character, and ensuring that each day contributes meaningfully to personal growth, emotional strength, and the development of an unshakable, success-oriented mindset. There is a common misconception that success belongs only to the talented, the gifted, or the naturally fortunate. Yet, history and observation tell a different story. It is persistence, consistency, and disciplined effort that separate those who achieve extraordinary results from those who merely dream. Talent may open doors, but it is sustained action that carries a person across the threshold. A winner's notebook becomes the living record of this principle, capturing daily habits, repeated actions, and the steadfast commitment that builds the foundation for lasting success. By recording consistent effort, the notebook transforms ordinary routines into a visible map of progress, demonstrating that achievement is the sum of countless small, disciplined steps. Consistency is the silent engine behind all remarkable accomplishments. One who works diligently each day, even in small ways, compounds effort over time into results that often appear sudden or extraordinary to the casual observer. By documenting these repeated actions in a notebook, the individual is able to measure and appreciate the power of persistence. Each entry serves as proof that progress is being made, that the effort, though sometimes invisible in the moment, is accumulating and leading inexorably toward the intended goal. This practice instills confidence, reinforces commitment, and provides motivation to continue when external rewards are delayed or challenges seem insurmountable. Effort, meticulously recorded, also highlights patterns of growth and improvement. When winners take the time to note their routines, their habits, and the actions they take to move forward, they create a mirror reflecting the true source of achievement. It is not luck, circumstance, or fleeting inspiration, but repeated disciplined effort that produces results. The notebook allows the individual to recognize which practices yield the most effective outcomes, to refine strategies, and to maintain alignment with their long-term objectives. By observing consistency in action, the mind becomes attuned to cause and effect, understanding that every deliberate step taken contributes to the ultimate goal. Celebrating effort in the notebook is also a form of reinforcement. Many people discount small victories or fail to acknowledge the quiet work behind their accomplishments. Yet it is in the recognition of persistent effort that the mind is strengthened and motivation sustained. The notebook becomes a space for acknowledgement, a place to record the disciplined acts that may otherwise go unnoticed, and a source of encouragement during periods when visible results lag behind the effort invested. This practice cultivates patience, resilience, and an unwavering belief that continued dedication will eventually yield tangible rewards. Ultimately, tracking consistency and effort fosters a mindset of long-term thinking. Winners do not seek instant gratification or short-lived applause. They understand that greatness is built incrementally, one day, one task, one effort at a time. The notebook is the instrument through which this principle is made visible, tangible, and actionable. By writing down routines, documenting progress, and honoring persistent effort, the individual reinforces the understanding that success is earned, that discipline compounds, and that the power of persistence is perhaps the single most reliable predictor of achievement. The simple act of recording these efforts transforms them from invisible habits into evidence of progress, a testament to the enduring value of consistency, and a continual reminder that persistent effort is the true hallmark of a winner. The winner's notebook is not just paper and ink. It is a record of your future built one day at a time. It is where you think on paper, where you give shape to your dreams, where you hold yourself accountable.